think that Steve Lukather was basically telling the truth. Like, you know, when people just tell their own truth, I think he was telling the truth. A lot of things that happened, he admits that a lot of it was because of him. But now he also admits that some of the stuff was not him. You know, for example, when Bobby Kimball had ran up on Steve Lukather, I think it was maybe 2017, and gave him a hug and said, "I love you, man. I love you, man," because he had to get kicked out of the band. And what's crazy is that all of those people had put lawsuits in because they wanted their percentage of Toto stuff. And to me, let me just be honest. When you leave a band, right? When you leave a band, the only thing that you should get is your percentage of royalties as far as you being a writer and your performance. Like, you know, like when you sell a song and a person that's actually singing on it, that's a performance per diem. You should get that. And if you wrote a song or played an instrument in a song, or you did background vocals or whatever, then you should get a percentage of that. You know, just the basic royalties. I don't think that Bobby Kimball, I don't think that Steve Porcaro, or, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, Jeff Porcaro's wife, Mike Porcaro's wife, I don't feel that they should get a percentage of the tours. I don't think they should get that. I don't think that they have rights to the name. Jeff died. Mike died. Why should they get a percentage of the name? Now, like I said, I want to be clear. I'm not sure who in particular put the lawsuit in. I'm going to look that up and I'll get back to you. So I'm not going to just throw names out there. But according to what I've, you know, listened to and everything, these people put in the lawsuit saying that they should get a percentage of Toto. Now, I don't know about Steve, so I'm not going to put Steve Porcaro in this. I don't know about Steve. But they won their lawsuit. And you know what I'm saying? Steve Lukather was kind of pissed off about it, but he was like, you know what? We're just going to pay them their percentage for using the name and just go on tour. Now, like I said, I'm going to look into this deeper, just to, you know, just so to make sure that I'm not putting names out there that should not be there. But according to what I understand, is Steve Porcaro? No, it's not Mike Porcaro's wife. Let me just take that out. It's Steve Porcaro, Jeff Porcaro's wife, and it's a couple of other people that sued that wanted a percentage of Toto's earnings. And I don't feel that that's right. I don't feel that that's right because to me, and this is just the way I see it, to me, if you're not out there performing, right, you shouldn't be getting any money. And I'm not trying to be mean toward Jeff and Mike. I'm not trying to be mean toward them. But they're not performing. You know what I'm saying? They're dead. They're not performing. So why should they get money for, you know, when they go out and perform? No, what they should get is their royalties for them performing the songs, right? And royalties for them writing the songs. That's all they should get. A performance per diem and publishing. That's what they should get. They should not get a percentage of Toto. I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. Bobby Kimball was in it. Jeff Porcaro's wife was in it. Now, those two I know definitely were in it. I don't know if Steve was in it, and I don't know if Mike Porcaro's wife was in it. I don't know. But Bobby Kimball was definitely in it. So, I just feel that it's wrong for people to do that. When you leave a group, that's that. You don't get a percentage for them performing. You don't get a percentage for the name. You don't get that. You left. Or you were fired. So either way, you know, I mean, Steve Lukather is basically over it. You know, he's like, look, because they actually did a couple of live shows with no audience though, but they did a couple of live shows probably a few months ago, and they have it on DVD. I think it's available now. And then also Steve Lukather got Joe Williams a deal. And I felt that that was very, very nice of him. Like, he said the same place that I got it. Oh, and let me just say one thing. This is just off topic. For all you classic rock groups that were big in the 70s and 80s and even early 90s, like, Sonic Garden. I think that's the name of them. Savage Garden, Sonic. I forgot the name of them. But groups like Creed, groups like Stained, Mudvayne, Journey, and all these other people. Be mindful of those contracts with Frontier Records. Again, be mindful of those contracts. I'm not saying not to sign the contract. What I'm saying is to be mindful. Because Steve Lukather actually brought up the fact that they were supposed to just do one album, right? One Toto album. And that was Toto 14. They're supposed to do one album. Come to find out, in the fine print in the contract, they were obligated to do another album. Now, that is his attorney's fault. Let's just be honest. That's his attorney's fault, and that's his manager's fault. But still, be mindful of those contracts, because those clauses are saying that they have the option, right? They have the option of another album. Now, here's the thing. They can also refuse the album. They can also refuse that album and say, we don't like that album. But it's still theirs. So instead of you making one or two albums, right, besides the album that you thought you were going to make, besides making the one or two that you did not want to make, you may be making 3 or 4, because they may reject 1 or 2 of your albums and then accept the other one, but all 3 are theirs to do what they want. And they can still put it out, even though they told you they didn't like it. They can still put that album out, and there's nothing you can do about it. And also be careful if a record label says, look, and this is no disrespect to E1 Records, they may say, look, we'll pay you $500,000 to put out to give us your album. Now, if your album goes platinum, that's $10 million for the record label, and you get none of it. You get none of it. So you got to be mindful of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they be like, well, we'll give you $5 million. Meanwhile, they done made 40 or 50 million. It ain't supposed to be that way. You're supposed to get at least 25%. So be mindful for these, and I'm talking to all of these people that, that were big in the 80s and the 70s and the early 90s. Be mindful of Frontier Records. Have a lawyer read the contracts with a fine-tooth comb. Because you'll be thinking that, oh, well, it's just one album. No. You may be doing 4 albums for the price of one album. And with groups like that, you're going to go platinum. You're going to go gold. Even if you go gold, that's still $5 million for the label. And you sitting over here with $100,000. Be mindful. Be mindful when you sign that contract. Because like I said, they could reject 2 or 3 of your albums, right? They could reject it. And then it's one that they accept. And you think that that's the album that they have, and you can just keep the other 2 albums. Those 2 albums belong to the label. So even though they may have rejected it, it's still theirs. Which means that they can do what the fuck they want. They could just put it out. And it's nothing you can do about it. I thought you told me that you didn't like the album. It's nothing you can do. So be mindful of that. But back on topic. I think that Lukather, The Gospel According to Luke, great book, worth a listen. And I salute Toto, and I salute Steve Lukather for keeping that group for at least 45 years. That's all I got, y'all. Once again, shouts out to the almighty LDBC. That's ldbcsports.com, ticketvmedia.com, and trilltalk.net. My name is A Weapons. Peace.